I'm Jennifer of Celtic Knot Crochet, and today in this video I'll be showing you how to make the Easter Egg Softies. This is an easy crochet pattern that uses a small amount of yarn. You can find the free pattern on my blog at celticknotcrochet.com. And of course, as usual, you'll find in the description all the supplies you need, which we'll go over in a few minutes. In this video, I will show you how to make this version of the Easter Egg Softie. I'll show you how to change the colors, how to make these stitches, how to create this egg shape, how to attach the feet, the eyes, and even how to get the mouth right. And I'll show you some tricks and tips of working with the velvet yarn. So let's get started. Remember, if you like this project, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click to subscribe so you can see more tutorials like this one. There are several varieties for this project. If you go to my blog at celticknotcrochet.com, the written instructions there are for this style of the Egg Softie. You'll see that there are 1, 2, 3 main stripes with ending with the last stripe on top. But then there are also directions written for the thick stripes and for the zigzag embellishment. Today I'll be showing you how to do the thick stripes, but all three are included on the blog. I also wanted to show you that you may choose to make yours without feet, so it would look like this, or you can just make an egg softie without eyes and use any one of the techniques to finish it off. Let's talk about the supplies you'll need for the Easter Egg Softie. I have a lot of velvet yarn in my stash, so that is what I used for this project. Velvet yarn comes in a variety of thicknesses, so you just have to be aware of that. I used Baby Bee Adorable in Mint Charm and Sugar Plum, but I also used some of Bernat's Velvet and Baby Velvet. The one thing you want to be sure of is that the Baby Velvet is a lot thinner than the Adorable, Mint Charm, or even the regular velvet. So it seems to go in thicknesses of Baby Velvet is the thinnest, then the Bernat Velvet is the next, and then the Adorable is even thicker. So you need to make decisions as to whether you're going to use a double strand or not. So I used a double strand when I made this pink egg, and it came out close to the same size as the yarn Adorable. And then I just did an experiment and used a smaller hook and a single strand, and I got a little mini egg. Same pattern, just one strand of the Baby Velvet. So the different types of velvet will give you different sizes for your eggs. But it really doesn't matter how big they are. They're about 5.5 inches tall. So you'll need 2 skeins if you want to do the 2 different colors. You'll also need a size J 6mm crochet hook, and if you want to use thinner velvet and make the smaller egg, you'll want to use a G or 4mm crochet hook. Then you'll need a tapestry needle, and you'll also need an embroidery needle like this one. This is one of my favorite needles to do face details because it has a nice size eye but not too big, and it's nice and long so that you can put it through a stuffed body more easily and find it again. You'll also need some safety eyes, and these are 8mm safety eyes, and they come with the securing disc that you pop on back. I'll show you how to do that. Then you'll also need some size 3 cotton crochet thread in black for the mouth, or you could use embroidery floss. You'll need a small amount of polyester fiber filling, and I used about 1/8 of a cup of these small plastic pellets. I got this brand here called Poly Pellets in a 2-pound bag, and that is to help the egg sit upright, and it gives it some weight and some squishiness to the bottom. But you could also use some coins wrapped in plastic or a small rock if you don't have the pellets or don't want to use the pellets. And as usual, all the supplies are listed in the description below. To begin our egg softie, we're going to start on the bottom, and we're going to do a short chain and then work around the chain to create the oval shape. Then we're going to work in the back loop for 1 round so that it starts working its way up. And then we'll change colors for the middle, and then change colors and do some decreasing to create the smaller shape on top. And just before we end, we'll be adding the eyes, the mouth, the pellets, the stuffing. And then we close up the top and add on the feet. And I even hot glued just a little bow I made out of ribbon. To begin your egg, you're going to chain 7. And then you're going to work into the second chain, and you're going to work 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Then you're going to work in the next 4 chains, 1, and work single crochets in each one of those. 2, 3, 4. Now it can be hard to see your stitches with the velvet yarn, so I highly recommend practicing this pattern with regular medium weight yarn till you get the hang of the pattern, and then try again with the velvet yarn. You might also want to try a lighter color like I am here. It is much easier to see your stitches with the lighter color. I also like to feel the stitches with my non-dominant hand. So in the last chain, you're going to put 2 single crochets. And there we've completed one side already of the oval. Now we're going to work on this other side of the chain, and we're going to work 2 single crochets in that first chain. And I'm trying to find a different loop than I went into for those previous 2. 1, 2, and then we're going to work across 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, and then in my last stitch here, I'm going to work 2 single crochets again. And here's that first single crochet that I started the round with, so I'm going to put a slip stitch right into the top of that. And there I have a nice little oval, oblong oval. So I highly recommend counting your stitches after each round. It helps keep the right shape for your egg and helps you stay on track with the pattern. So you should have 16 stitches at the end of this. And I'll show you, you can see the stitches pretty well. If you hold them like this, may be a little confusing, but again, turn your work so you're looking at it down from the top. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 right here. So now we're ready to start round 2. And I'm going to chain 1 and then I'm going to do 2 single crochets in that first stitch where I joined. Now because it's hard to see your stitches, I'm doing the technique where you join with a slip stitch and chain 1. That way, see how you have this bump out here of where the row or the round started? I'm doing that to help me with my stitch count and finding my stitches. And then you're going to work your way across, single crocheting in each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to work 2 single crochets in each of the next 2 stitches. So we're going to do 1, 2 in the same stitch, and then do that again. 1, 2. So we're almost finished already. So we went around, and we need to work back across this little oval here. And we're going to single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we should be at our last stitch right here, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in there. Now, because I chose to do the slip stitch and chain 1, you're going to see 2 extra loops. See them here? That's the slip stitch and the chain 1. And we want to skip over those every round. So this can be a little tricky, but just remember when you get near the end where that pop out is of the new round starting, skip this loop and this loop. And for this round, we're going to work in the back loop only. So when I join with the slip stitch, I'm going to put my hook into that back loop. See, here are the 2 loops of the stitch right here. And I'm going to work into the back loop only. And here is the bottom, it's like a little boat here, of your Easter egg. Now we're on round 3. And I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to single crochet in this first stitch where I put that slip stitch, and in the next 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how going in the back loop only gives me this nice line here that you're going to see right here at the bottom of your egg. So the next stitch, we're going to keep working in that back loop only, but we're going to do 2 single crochets. Every time you work 2 single crochets in a stitch, you're increasing and making your project just a little bit bigger. Now we're going to single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches for the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then here I am at my last stitch, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets in that last stitch. And again, here you can see the slip stitch and the chain 1. So I'm going to want to attach with my slip stitch to that first single crochet by skipping those 2 loops. Now at the end of this round, you should have 22. And at the end of round 2, you should have had 20 stitches. So what I've been doing is you can count your stitches and make up for it at the end if you're missing one or if you have one too many. And I'll show you that as we get to the next color. So to count our stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Now, if you're having a hard time seeing them, you want to just make sure that you're getting the general shape. So we increased and added stitches for each of the rounds we've done so far. And now we're going to stop adding for a while. And we're going to work all the way up to here. So now I'm going to chain 1 again, and I'm going to work a single crochet in each stitch around, working through both loops. So you can even count, since it's such a small number, I recommend counting. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, see, I'm using my non-dominant hand to feel where those stitches are. You can feel the space that the top loop creates. I can feel it. So get to know what your stitches feel like, and it'll be easier to find the next stitch. So that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And again, here you can see a gap. This is where our round started. That's the first single crochet here, and then we have the chain 1 and the slip stitch. And we're going to skip those 2 and go right to the top of that first single crochet. And here we have 4 rounds completed. And for this thick stripes, now we're going to change colors. So I like to cut it off about 6 to 8 inches and pull it through. Make sure it's a nice tight knot and tuck that inside. And now we're going to start the rest of the rounds in the center. So this way it's in the back. See here? And it'll be right up the center here where it's not seen on the face. You want the face to be nice and clean and not see any joins of any of your colors. So to do that, this is round 5. I'm going to put my slip knot on my hook. And I'm going to pick one of the stitches that's in the center of one of the sides, and this will now be the back of your egg. I'm going to insert my hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch and through the loop on my hook. That's a slip stitch again. Chain 1. And then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch around again, just like I did in the previous round. Now you'll see that when you're changing your color, it's easy to see the stitches for a little bit. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And I'll go all the way around, counting up to 22. So what I discovered as working with the velvet yarn and adding stitches and taking away stitches, that no matter how hard you work, sometimes you still end up with extra stitches because it's hard to see everything. Sometimes you add something and you don't realize it. So that is why I recommend you count around the entire round, each round. So I'm on stitch 21 and I see that there are 2 more left here. And I want to keep it at 22 so my egg shape is nice like I like it. So what I discovered is if I'm getting to the end and I see that I'm going to have an extra stitch, I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm going to do a single crochet 2 together. And I'm going to do it the hidden way. So I'm going to show you how to do that now and again later when we start shaping the egg. So this is to fix if you have too many stitches on one round. I'm on 21 and I would do 22 here with an extra, and I don't want a hole. So I'm going to insert my hook through the front loop of the next stitch and then through the front loop of the stitch after that. Then yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Then yarn over, pull through 2 loops on my hook. And now those 2 stitches have become 1 and I have 22 stitches around. I'm skipping the slip stitch and the chain 1 and I'm going to put a slip stitch in that first single crochet of the round. So I'll show you that one more time. I think it's easier to see this stitch when you have 2 different colors going on. So this is called the hidden single crochet 2 together, or the hidden decrease. I'm going to put my hook through the first front loop of the next stitch and then through the front loop of the stitch after that. Yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Now I have 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. And it makes it for a nicer join of those 2 stitches. And then slip stitch to the first stitch. So now for the next 3 rounds, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. For round 6, 7, and 8, I'm going to chain 1, do a single crochet in that first stitch, and single crochet in each stitch around. No increases, no decreases, unless I come around to the side and I see I have some extra. Now if you have not enough, you just add 1 more stitch into your last stitch. So feel free to adjust the pattern so you can stay on your stitch count. So I have 1, 2, 3 done so far, and I'm going to keep counting and make sure I have 22. So that's 5, 6, and so on. So one more time, I counted 22 stitches around, and then here you could see I have the slip stitch and the chain 1, and then here's that first single crochet of the round. And I'll put my hook in, yarn over, and pull through everything. So I'm going to repeat that 2 more rounds. Here you can see I've completed 4 rounds of the new color, and so this is finishing round 8. And again, I'm going to clip the yarn and pull through to make a nice knot. And now it's time to start the original green color again, and I'm going to start it in the back of the egg again. Tuck the yarn tails in, and I'll put my slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to insert my hook into the last stitch I put that slip stitch in and do another slip stitch right there. Then I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet in that same stitch. And now I'm going to do single crochet in each of the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we're going to do the decrease again. So I'll show you again the hidden decrease or hidden single crochet 2 together. Insert my hook through the front loop of the next stitch, then insert my hook through the front loop of the stitch after that, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. And there you go. And it makes a really nice clean decrease instead of creating a lot of holes in your work. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 10 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to do another hidden single crochet decrease, or hidden single crochet 2 together. Hook into the front loop, hook into the front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then I should have 3 stitches remaining. 1, 2, and 3. So now I have a total of 20 stitches around. And then I skip the slip stitch in the chain 1 and put a slip stitch in that top of the first single crochet of the round. And if I want to, I can count my stitches. So let's try. Again, it's easier to see when you have the different color. So it's a good round to see where you are. So we're going to skip this one because it's under where the hook is for now. We'll count that at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then here we are at the beginning, 20. And now we're going to continue for 2 more rounds in the green color, and we're going to continue to decrease. So chain 1, I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch that I started with. Then I'm going to single crochet in each of the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to do a hidden single crochet, hook in the front, hook in the front, yarn over, pull through. It's a little harder to see with the same color, same steps though. Then single crochet in the next 9. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to do single crochet 2 together again. Hook in the front loop, hook in the front loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Now it looks here, looks like I have an extra one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do another decrease. So I'm showing you that it's okay if your stitch count doesn't match, just fix it by putting 2 stitches together. Skip the slip stitch and the chain 1 and go right into the top of that first single crochet. And that way your project is going to stay a good shape. If we allow for those extra stitches each round, then we're not going to get the egg shape where it gets smaller at the top. So it's just a little trick I found that when working with velvet, it can be hard to count your stitches and see them no matter what you do. So now we're on round 11. We're going to chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch. Now we're going to do the hidden single crochet 2 together right away. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do the hidden single crochet again. I'm using my fingers to find those stitches. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It helps to count out loud. Then half double crochet, hidden single crochet 2 together. And then single crochet in the last 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then here we have the slip stitch and the chain 1. See, there's the bump out where our new round starts. We just don't want to work in this and this. The 2 loops working up to the top of that first single crochet. Slip stitch in there, and now we're ready to fasten off this color. We're almost finished with the egg. So this is the back. You can see a little bit of the joints, not too bad. The velvet hides a lot of mistakes, which is nice. So at this point we want to add some of the details before we finish off the top. So what I like to do is turn the egg inside out, especially if you've done a lot of color changes with your egg. And just to make it more secure, especially if you're giving to a child, it'll hug this a lot. I like to tie the yarn tails in a double knot, the ones that are near each other anyway. So when you do this egg right here, you'll have a lot of yarn tails, and I did that with all of them. And then turn it back right side out. Tuck those in. We don't have to weave them in because they can be part of the stuffing, and that helps your project go quicker. Yay! So here's the front. Remember, this is where all my joins are, so this is the back. And now I'm going to add the eyes. So I put them there's about 3 stitches, 2.5 stitches in between the eyes, and I put them right at the top of round 8. So I'll eyeball it, ha ha ha, like that. So you can use the pictures on my website or this video to get an idea of where you want to put the eyes. Now remember, safety eyes are a must when you're giving to a child, but there is still the chance that the safety eyes can pull through the fabric and become a choking hazard. So don't leave a young child alone with this toy because they could still choke on these pieces. And then each safety eye comes with this little locking circle that you put over the back. Can you see that? And press it down in, and that locks the safety eye. Now a couple things you can do with the safety eyes to make sure they're really secure is make sure you're going through the middle of a stitch. If you're going through the spaces between the stitch, then there's, see, that was a space between the stitch. So if I were to try to go through maybe the middle of a stitch, it would be better, because there's just more tightness in the center of a stitch. So you might want to do that. Another way to secure the safety eyes, extra secure, is to cut a small circle of fleece fabric. I picked fleece because you don't need to hem it, it doesn't fray, and it is washable. And then I put a very small hole in the center with my scissors, and that's going to go right like so. And then I put the locking circle on top, And then to even make it even more secure, this piece of fabric will help prevent the eye from pulling through, because you have much more. See, I'm trying to pull it through and I can't. But this one I can almost pull through. See that? So by adding that fleece circle, it gives this locking circle something to lock onto, because crochet stitches have a lot of gaps in them. And then if you wanted to even more secure it, you could go around with a needle and thread and sew that circle to the back of your crocheted fabric. And then you have a really secure safety eye. Again, still don't leave young children alone with toys with safety eyes. Definitely don't put it in their crib. But that will help prevent it from popping out. After we've completed the eyes, then we're going to want to do the mouth. The mouth is a very simple little stitch that you can do with embroidery floss or size 3 cotton crochet thread. You'll want to put a short length of the thread on your needle and put a knot at the end. You can do the same technique with having a piece of felt behind if you'd like, or fleece. And if you see, I went just a little bit over from one eye and a little bit over from the next, but I'm still on the same row of single crochet. Now this is what I discovered. I had a hard time consistently making mouths for different softies. So I discovered that this technique seemed to work the best. So I put the needle through, and again I'm trying to get it through a piece of the stitch of the yarn so it's nice and anchored in there, like so. Pull it through, and then I want to go down through the fabric in the same place from the other eye. And your smile might be bigger. This one might turn out bigger than the other. So like that. And then just before I've pulled it all the way through, I take my needle and I say, okay, that's the length I like. So I don't pull it all the way tight unless you want your egg not smiling. So I pull it out a little and say, ah, that's what I like, right like that. Right in the center, I pull it down so it forms a slight U shape. And then I come back up through the crochet fabric right there at the center of the mouth. And then I come down, almost back down where I came up, but I'm going to go over the thread and back down through the front, and I'm going to catch the mouth thread with that little stitch, and you can barely see it because it's black. And there I have a nice little mouth. So it's super easy to do it that way. I was struggling with trying to stitch around the U, and I found that was the best way to just come up this side, go down this side, and have this long stitch right here, and then stitch over right in the middle so it creates the U or the open V shape. And then on the back side, I just want to make sure that I knot it with the ends of the thread. So just make a nice knot so that's not going to come undone. Clip off the excess, and the eyes and mouth are finished. So now we're going to put the pellets in the bottom, And what I do is I take 1/8 of a cup of these pellets, put them in a little snack bag that I can seal up, and then I put them all down over into one corner. Fold the bag over, make sure again that it's all sealed up, and fold it up like that and insert it. Now again, you can wrap this whole thing in some clear packing tape that will prevent it from ever coming apart, because these plastic pellets also can be a choking hazard. So you wanna, if you wanna make that bag even more secure, just wrap it in a bunch of packing tape. And then I'll take some of the fiberfill stuffing and put that on top of the bag of pellets. And I'm going to stuff, you don't have to overstuff, the velvet has a lot of body on its own. And you can shape it with your fingers till you get the stuffing that you like. And now we're going to do the last 3 rounds to finish off the project. So for the next round, which is round 12, I'm going to begin in the back again with my second color. I put my slip knot on my hook. Then I'm going to join with a slip stitch in the back. And then I'm going to chain 1 and work single crochet in each stitch around. So there's no decreases in this. I should have 15 stitches in this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and what do you see here? Somehow I got 2 extra, so I'm just going to do that decrease again so that I know that I have 15 stitches. And here's my first one. I'm going to slip stitch, that's the slip stitch and the chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch in the first one. And you can see it's starting to really look like a cute little egg. So round 13 begins with a chain 1, and then we're going to do the hidden single crochet 2 together over these first 2 stitches here. Pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to do the hidden single crochet 2 together again. Hook through the first loop, through the next loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to do the hidden single crochet 2 together again, because we really want our egg to be nice and small on top. And then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. And here's the slip stitch, chain 1, and we slip stitch to our first stitch. So let's see if we have the 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and the important thing is that we can see that it's a nice gradual shaping of the egg. So we started out with making it bigger, increasing, then we kept it the same, and then we started decreasing. So we have just one more round, round 14, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, then hidden single crochet 2 together, then single crochet in the next stitch, then hidden single crochet 2 together, then single crochet in each of the next 3, 1, 2, 3, then single crochet 2 together again, and then single crochet in the last stitch, and here's that slip stitch, chain 1, and then slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. And that is what our opening would look like now. So we should have 9 stitches now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, at this point, if you have 1 or 2 extra, it's no big deal, because we're at the end of our egg shape. So we're going to cut a nice long length, about 12 inches or so, and pull that through, make a nice knot. And now we're going to finish stuffing the egg. You can massage it to make sure the stuffing makes it to the top. Like so. And then I'm going to use my jumbo tapestry needle. You need a nice big needle for the velvet yarn. And I squeeze it together with my fingers. And I go through the stitches like so, and over and through the stitch on the other side. You want to try to keep your stitches hidden, but because of the velvet yarn, it's very easy to do. And see how it's kind of square along the top? So then I'm going to go in through the side and go over to the other side and pull, and that'll help. See how that helps round it out? And I'll do that over here. Make sure I go through a bunch of stitches and then go back across the side and pull, and now I have a nice rounded top. If you see any, like right here, I've got a little bit sticking up, so I'm just going to make sure that I go over that to tuck that in. And you could put a knot in it if you like. And I like to just go down into the center, so I come out pretty far down in the project. Make sure it's not pulling, and then I can cut that off and the end is hidden. And then you can shape your egg. Now you might want to leave it like this, or you can add the cute little feet. So we're going to make the feet and add those next. That's the last step, and the optional little bow. So to make the feet, you'll put your slip knot on your hook and you'll chain 2, and then you're going to work 5 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. So there's the one closest and the next one. So the first chain you made, you're going to cram 5 single crochets in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to work right into that first stitch again. I'm not going to join with the slip stitch. I'm just going to go for it and do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and in each stitch around. And I'm not using my stitch marker because it's so quick and so small, but I am going to count as I go. So I have I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch and have 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And now I'm going to take away the stitches by doing a single crochet 2 together. This time I'm going to do the regular single crochet 2 together. So this is what that looks like. You put your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then hook into the stitch after that, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So that was 1, and I'm going to do 5 like that. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the stitch after that, and then slip stitch in the stitch after that, and leave the rest unworked. And that is my little foot. And I don't even stuff it, because again the velvet yarn gives a lot of body, and I cut about 6 to 8 inches so I have something to sew it onto the body with. And I'm going to make 2 like this and stuff the yarn tail into the center, and it's ready to attach. Now our last piece is ready to be sewn on. I've already sewn on one of the feet, and I did it just by kind of going down from the eye, and I want the middle of the foot to be approximately in line with the eye. And also that row that we did, the round we did in the back loop only, where you have that ridge of loops, I'm going to kind of put that in the center of the foot as well. So I take the yarn tail and I put it on my yarn needle. I go across the center of the foot, hold it up like I like it, right there, and then go through the body of the egg and then pick up some stitches on the foot and do that around. This is one of the reasons. I know it can be hard to see your stitches with the velvet, but I love how the stitches look with the velvet, how soft the project is, and then when you're doing little details like this, you really can't see the stitching. And so you don't have to work so hard like you might have to with other yarns to make sure you don't see how you put that foot on there. But with the velvet, it all just hides and blends together, and so you can make it a lot quicker. See? And I would go through, but before the loop is fully through the fabric, I'd go through a couple times like that to make a nice knot so your stitching won't come undone no matter how many hugs this little egg gets. And then go through the body and cut the excess off. And there you have it, your Easter Egg Softie. And if you like, I just tied a little ribbon into a bow and hot glued it on, or you can sew it on. Again, if you're giving to a young child, it's best to sew it on. And there you have it. the Crochet Easter Egg Softie. Hope you enjoyed making this project. Hope you enjoy putting it up at Easter time or year-round, or even gifting it to a friend or a loved one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can find this pattern on my blog at CelticKnotCrochet.com. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and even leave a comment about who you made this for or what colors you made it in. I'd love to hear about it. Happy crocheting!